Hello and welcome to this evening time taste challenge. This evening I have two bourbon whiskeys. I have from 1955, well, perhaps from 1955. It could go back that far. W.D. Liquors, genuine Kentucky bourbon whiskey distilled in Kentucky. Well, okay, that makes sense. Kentucky whiskey distilled in Kentucky. I didn't think it was distilled in Idaho. But anyway, 40% alcohol, 80 proof, aged 3 years from Wide World Distillers, 4 WD stores. WD Liquors in Florida or Winn-Dixie in Louisiana, because in Louisiana they sell liquor in the grocery store like they sell any other item. All right, so it's possible that they were making private label WD liquor in the 1950s and 60s, but it was almost assuredly glass bottles, not plastic. That's a newer innovation. Okay, so Butch Willie says, "Hey Ron, I'm also drinking now vodka with Calypso." Vodka with Calypso? Okay. Oh, the the lemonades from Wisconsin. Okay, I thought you were talking about I thought you were talking about Calypso rum. All right, so that's WD. I've been seeing this since I was like 10 years old, 5 years old. At any family get together, they would buy these inexpensive WD liquors because they were inexpensive, not because they loved them. But nobody in my family ever drank beer, wine, or liquor because they loved it per se. You know what I mean? They just bought it because it was inexpensive. They would always buy the cheapest. I can't speak for anyone else. I can tell you what my family did. If it was wine, they were drinking Taylor wine or Carlo Rossi from California, Taylor wine from New York. I'm just being honest. If they were drinking liquor, it would be like Winn-Dixie gin, Winn-Dixie vodka, Winn-Dixie whiskey. If it was beer, it would be Jack's, Miller High Life. Let's see, Jack's, Miller High Life. We're talking about, now in the 80s, my father migrated to a Coors Light because he liked it since it had no flavor. And then he gave up drinking in 2003. Or, maybe like if he was really going to to the Gulf Shore, Grand Isle, Louisiana, to the Gulf guys from work to hang out all weekend, he'd buy Time Saver beer. Yeah, convenience store produced by Falstaff. Time Saver. Was it good? No, but it was cheap, and that's what they drank. He never cared about the price. Believe me. He didn't like beer. He just liked, no. Brian Lane says, "Hey, Clappin, have you tried Evan Williams bourbon?" Oh yeah, it's very good. I like it. Definitely. Oh, turn the lamps on too early. Let's cut those off for a second. Here's the Jeppson's bourbon. Thank you, David. He found this for $15. $15, but the regular price is just a penny under $30, $29.99. But he found it for $15. Don't know why it was that cheap. Didn't ask. It's 100 proof. Very strong, really. Most of your bourbons you'll find are 80 proof. Some are 86. Then you get the higher proofs. But I mean, really, go to a liquor store and look. Most of your bourbons could be 80 proof. The interesting thing about this product, it is not a straight bourbon, but it is a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys. If this thing will focus, yeah, here we go. A blend of straight bourbon whiskeys from Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee. A blend of straight bourbon whiskeys. So they got bourbon whiskeys coming from 3 different states. They blend them together and bottle them in Chicago, Illinois, and they sell them. Is there any flavoring or coloring added? I do not get the impression. Woke up too early. I don't get the impression that there's flavoring or coloring added, but it's possible because if you look at the regulations, a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys may have coloring and flavoring added. And they don't have to tell you that on the label. It's so bizarre. Like, if you have straight bourbon, it can absolutely never have coloring or flavoring added. Never, never, never. But if it's a blend of those, oh yeah, you have coloring, flavoring. Don't have to even disclose it. Here's WD. It just says bourbon from Kentucky, so my reckoning is that it cannot have flavoring or coloring added. It does not taste like it has flavoring or coloring added. It tastes like standard Kentucky bourbon whiskey, which to me is suspiciously similar to Ancient Age, although this does not claim to be sour mash, and Ancient Age does. The WD is a little bit lighter, not much, a little bit. Yeah, it's lighter. It's more amber gold, and this one is more copper amber. So gold amber, and yeah, that's the right terminology. Gold amber and copper amber. Price point. The cheapest price I saw for this one was $29.99 at Rouse's, $29.99. There's a new label. You'll see it on when I show the screen share. This is running $15.99 right now. Let's do the screen share. So there it is. Only at Winn-Dixie, which makes sense since it's called Winn-Dixie or WD Liquors Bourbon Whiskey. Beautiful label of a horse and a jockey. I don't think they changed that label in 50 years. 15 for 1,750 milliliters until November 3rd. Then you have to go and pay the regular $16.99 until they go back on sale in a week after that. All right, but anyway, you go. You can only buy it at Winn-Dixie, and you cannot get curbside or delivery. You have to go in the store to buy it, which honestly does not take a whole lot of effort. Okay. Jeppsons. There's the new label, which to me is dull. It's so bland. It's just white with a red banner and some stars. But hey, whatever. They wanted to change it. I can't control that. Age a minimum of 4 years. Non-chill filtered. Forgot the notes. Non-chill filtered. That's right. There's also a 90 proof for those who prefer less heat, like me. And it's 75% corn, 21% rye, and 4% malted barley. Great for sipping or mixing in cocktails. But I'll be sipping it neat tonight at room temperature, around 70 degrees. 3 degrees maybe. So let's update the notes. Age 4 years, non-chill filtered, 75% corn, 20% rye, and 5% malted. Or wait, I got that wrong, right? It's 21% rye, right? Let me go back to my website. Yeah, 21% rye, 4%. I knew it wasn't 5% rye. All right, 5% malt. 21% rye whiskey and only 4% malted barley whiskey. So why would they only add 4%, like they would say in Scotland, single malt whiskey? Well, I think it was just to tweak it out a little bit, give it a little breadiness. So is this going to taste anyway like a single malt whiskey, this Jeppson's? No. It won't. It's just going to have a little bready note, a little bit of a bready note to give it a little doughiness, breadiness type of character. All right, but it's going to be minimal, just a tweak, little touch. Now, what about the Winn-Dixie? Could it have malted barley? It might. Rye, very possible. How about wheat? Could be. How about corn? Oh, yeah. Probably all of it. I like my bourbon on ice. What's your way of enjoying it? Says Brian Lane. I like it at room temperature with nothing added, just neat like this, or, straight plain Jane, But however you want to drink it, doesn't matter. Wings and Pizza says, when it's 100 proof, I feel like an ice cube is a necessity. Well, actually, I've never had bourbon with an ice cube. Okay, but I'm open to it, but I always follow the same format. Room temperature, same amount, a little bit, mix them up, taste them, it doesn't seem to matter. Triple play, 3 challenges in the same day. Yes, Jason. I had some good phone calls. Somebody called me earlier and we talked. She was talking to me a long time. And I said, okay. And then a friend of mine called and he talked to me for a long time. And it went on. And then it was like, oh man. And I got to go watch these baseball games. It was 3-0 last time. 2-0, right? Oh, 4-0, the Mets in the bottom of the 7th. I can't believe it. Don't tell me they're going to win. No, I'm not going to say it. So yeah, triple play, trifecta, big deal. I agree, Wings. You probably used to the hotness with all the bourbons you have tried. Well, to be honest, most of the bourbons I have are 80 proof. So if you want to call that hot, I don't really have a lot of high proof bourbons. 80 proof. When I go high, it's 86 proof. So I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I don't really think they're that hot. Cheers, everyone, says Brian Lane. Cheers to you. All right, time to go. I would like to watch that. I was on the phone. He was calling me and talking about movies and talking about Martin Scorsese and talking about Harvey Korman and all the influence from him, and it was going on. And, so I've actually got some time off this week and have been listening to your videos, World War II, such as the mistakes Hitler made in Italy entering the war, highly entertaining and informative. Oh yeah, that was a very important video. The effect of Italy entering the war in 1940 and Hitler's mistakes. Yes, those were good videos. Thank you for watching. Time to drink. Well, I'm not a drinker. I'm more of a taster. Do I drink whiskey? No. But I'm known to taste it for more than once a week. All right. I had a very interesting flavor beer today. I couldn't get over that, but it was really fascinating. Normally, they just like, another flavor beer. But I don't mind them. I'm not going to pretend like I mind it. But, it's like another flavor beer. Here we go. It's going to taste like lemonade. And then I tasted it. I was like, whoa. Time to step back. So I had to admit that my preconceptions were incorrect. So I thought, they did an amazing job with this. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. I'm wrong. All right. Okay. I don't know anything about Italian ice product. I don't know anything about that. So, hey, almost made a video about Israel today, but I thought it would be redundant because it would just repeat what I said a year ago. I made a video about Israel, Palestine a year ago. My opinion hasn't changed. So I don't want to just make the same video saying the same stuff. Yeah. Charred oak. Yeah, charred oak. Vanilla, cornbread, popcorn, honeysuckle nectar, same old stuff. Nothing remarkable here, but nothing bad. What is a little cynic? A little cynic, huh? What is your type? What is your go-to type of liquor? I'm a rum man myself. Well, I don't really have a go-to type. I do kind of favor rye whiskey, rye, but I like them all. Rum, rum, tequila, mezcal, rye whiskey, bourbon, American blended whiskey, Canadian blended whiskey, Irish blended whiskey, blended Scotch whiskey, single malt whiskey. It doesn't. I don't really care. They all have their own good qualities, I think. So to say I have a favorite, I guess it would be single malt Scotch of the very smoky type. I like it smoked, like a smoked pork or smoked beef. Yeah, those are the primo. But I like it. I'm not gonna. I like them all. I just like them all. To varying degrees, but mostly it's a high degree. All right, taste. Well, aroma, similar, very similar. Now, the price is not similar. $15.99 for a huge bottle, $29.99 for a regular standard bottle. So the only way Jeppson's is going to win is if it's head and shoulders above this private label store brand. And so far, I'm not seeing that, but taste could change that. Here we go, taste. Then it's on to baseball. There ain't no way that's Winn-Dixie. No way that's WD. That's too much strength. That's 100 proof. Oh, it burns. It burns. It was regular old tap water. That's the that's the Jeppsons. Got it. What is that? That got me at 4-0, right? Jason tracks this more than I do. 4-0. 4 wins, 0 losses. But how you going to confuse 100 proof to 80 proof? Chances are you're not. Okay. Johnny Walker Double Black is awesome. That has burnt steak notes, says Brian Lane. Hang loose. I agree with that. And I love Johnny Walker Double Black, and I have a lot of it. And I bought it for so cheap. Oh, so very cheap. And I bought it all, and then it didn't stay cheap. 2 or 3 years ago, it skyrocketed. But I bought it all. I was like, oh, this is unreal. The price is unreal, for this. So I bought a bunch of bottles. I mean, you'll see. Oh yeah, and I've never had regular Johnny Walker Black. True story. I've never had Johnny Walker Black. I've only had the Double Black. The Double Black. Now my friend David said, well, if you had Double Black, you've had Johnny Walker Black. I said, no, I don't think it's the same product. The hundo always reveals itself, says Wings and Pizza. It does. Because of the burn, the strength, the body. But let's go over here to the WD. Give it its chance, although it's already lost. But all right. Speaking for myself, which makes sense, I would prefer the WD. I'm not saying it's a better product. It's a lot cheaper. But it's more amenable to me personally. This is me. I like the 80 proof. It's mild. It's mellow. It's easygoing. It has charred oak, but it's not overpowering. To me now, it seems to have a little sour mash bourbon character going on, which would indicate my theory, or bolster, I should say, bolster my theory that it might be a rebranded Ancient Age. I cannot back that up, nor would I try to. Just throwing it out there. These 100 proof things are a little bit much for me. Now, I know it's non-chill filtered. I know it's aged 4 years. I know it's a blend of straight whiskeys from Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee. That's all good. I know that it's allowed to have flavoring and coloring added since it's a blend of those three. This would not be allowed to have coloring added because it is not a blend of bourbons. It's just a bourbon. So it's funny, it's comical that the expensive product, well, relatively so, $29.99 cannot have flavoring. I mean, is allowed to have flavoring and coloring added, but the cheapo cannot have flavoring and coloring. It has to be a pure product. Oh man, it's funny how these regulations work. I don't know how you guys drink these barrel proof and 100 proof bourbons. I don't know it. I don't know how you do it. I couldn't stand it. It would knock me down. I'll be gone quick. Oh, it's too strong. I can't take it. But that's me. You say you're weak. You're weak. You're weak. You can't handle it. Well, I've never denied that. Okay, I'm weak. All right, I'm weak. Can't handle it. I'm an 80 proof guy. Hey, well, they make a lot of 80 proof bourbon, so I'm one of those people that it's made for. I'm one of the guys it's made for. You say, well, a real man would want 100 proof bourbon. Um, well, I will let the real men drink it. And I'll be a wimp and drink the 80 proof. Now, see, then everybody gets what they want. The big men, the man, big man. He could drink the 100 proof. And the wimp, the mouse who wants to be a mouse instead of a man, people like me with no self-respect, I'll drink the 80 proof because there's always something for the weaklings. Little Cynic says whiskey is really hit or miss for me. Most of them have such a bite. Yes, I can understand that. So it's a thing. It's like it just may not be for everybody, and you shouldn't feel like pressured to drink it. If you like rum, you say I like rum. I really don't think I want to drink whiskey. And if you have people pressuring you, just tell them, look, I don't want to drink it. I don't like it, and move on. There's a whole world of rum, and you don't need to be pressured to drink it. I know I wouldn't be. Let's see, questions, comments. I agree. 80 to 90 proof is usually a tolerable, plentiful drink. After that, it's just too hot unless you add ice or water. And I'm not adding ice or water. I just don't want that heat, that strength, that pressure, that. Ugh. Brian Lane says, Winn-Dixie, I might have missed it. Who is the supplier or the owner? Oh, WD. Okay, well, it's the trademark is owned by Winn-Dixie, which is a grocery chain established in 1955 following the merger of Winn grocery stores and Dixie grocery stores. Now it's Winn-Dixie. They've been in my town since 1958. Now, I moved to this town in 1971, 53 years ago. And there was Winn-Dixie. And when we moved here, it had been around for 13 years. So it's an old, they got people here that's 90 years old, and they only go to Winn-Dixie, believe me. Others are more adventurous. They go to Matherns, Aldi, Cash Saver, Walmart even. But, I grew up where they had the same cashier ladies for 50 years. And they say, you heard about her. She died. She had cancer. She was 80. run the register until she was 80. It's like that kind of thing. So and it's really an institution in the South, Gulf South, Winn-Dixie. Louisiana used to be Texas, but it was never really that big of a presence in Texas. But they dabbled in Texas. They couldn't compete against Brookshire and HEB and all those stores. But Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, and a little bit of Georgia, it's an institution. It's like Winn-Dixie. I'm going to Winn-Dixie. I'm buying my steak. They got the best steak, and they have a reputation for beef. That's why their tagline was the beef people. I go there regularly. Okay. But then when innovations came in the 80s and 90s with newer stores like Walmart selling groceries and all, so they started taking a hit, because people want the newest thing, and adaptability and such as that. So in 2024, Aldi bought Winn-Dixie. You say Aldi, of all people. So Aldi owns Winn-Dixie today, and they bought Harvey's, which was associated with Winn-Dixie through Southern Grocers. So, and I don't know a thing about Harvey's, but except that it's some old store brand chain from probably 90 years ago. But now it's owned by Aldi. And I'm seeing some changes. Maybe they'll be for the good, maybe not for the good. I do not know. But I went there recently and I bought some products, and I bought beer, and they did not put it in a bag, and they put a sticker on and said, "You saved the bag. You saved the plastic bag." I said, well, it looks like Aldi, So I don't know, man. But so does Aldi sell liquor in the United States today? Yes, they do. Through their subsidiaries, Winn-Dixie and maybe Harvey's. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know Harvey's. But if you go to Winn-Dixie, they got a liquor section that is big. It's not small. It's not tiny. It's big. And they have a lot of brands. Many of them you've never heard of. And I wasn't even aware of some of these Canadian whiskeys. So it's not a joke. And I think, and a lot of people theorize, there are other people on the internet theorizing this. They're saying the reason Aldi bought Winn-Dixie all along is they wanted that liquor outlet. You buy the company, then you inherit the liquor license, and then you can sell. So seems reasonable. Trader Joe's, another Aldi subsidiary, sells liquor in Louisiana, Metairie, Baton Rouge, Lafayette. You can go to Trader Joe's. You can get Trader Joe's Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey. Obviously, it's from, you just examine the label, it's from a Buffalo Trace. But, we'll play along. It's from whatever alias name they're using. So they're definitely trying to make a footprint, and they say they're going to have 800 stores by the next 2 years. And they're not just, I don't think they're just coming in to set up rinky dink. You know what I mean? Rinky dink. They're coming in strong. Now, it may fail, but anyway, let's look at the comments. I remember when it was 90 proof, Brian, and Canadian Club used to be 86 proof. Yep, that's right. Everything's been downgraded to 80 proof. Jack Daniels used to be 90 proof. And then in 1987, it dropped to 86. And then in 93, I believe, it went to 80. Yeah. Maker's Mark Cask Strength is the greatest whiskey in the world. It goes down like warm water, says Grismo. Well, I'm sorry, Grismo. You can drink it all. You can have all of it. That's too strong for me. It gives you that sweet bourbon hug. Trust me, if you have tried it, it's a must. I don't want it. I'm going to let you have it. You take it. You run with it. Mississippi for sure, too. Piggly Wiggly. Okay, Piggly Wiggly in Louisiana. Now I'm talking about Louisiana. Does sell liquor. Piggly Wiggly in Westwego, Louisiana, liquor. Piggly Wiggly in Hammond, Louisiana, they sell liquor. So, hey, I don't know about Mississippi. I'm talking about Louisiana. Hello, Ron, says Alex. Brian Lane said, I thank you for the breakdown and history. I cherish that small hometown heritage. Few and far between nowadays. Oh, you're welcome. Well, I used to teach history. That's how I made money. A student in my class one time said, you like doing this. You just doing it. You like doing it. I said, yeah, because I talk about this all the time. That's all I do. Talk about history, government, politics. I said, so I'm getting paid to do it. So like I told the student, I said, it's easy money. I said, when you get paid to talk about what you're going to talk about anyway, for free, it's easy money. He didn't argue with that. He was like, makes sense. I said, right. I said, you taking a class because the state of Louisiana says you got to take American history to graduate, right? Right. I said, you don't have to like it. I used to tell him that. I said, you don't have to like the class. I said, in fact, you can hate it. Doesn't make any difference to me if you hate it. Although I prefer if you liked it. I said, but the rule is you got to get a credit. And actually, the rule is you only have to get a D-. Very poor. That's all you got to do. D-, which was, I think, 65. If you got below 65, it's an F. You fail. You're not good enough. But believe me, you have to be the total moron to not get a 65, because you get a 70 with no effort. So when I would preface the class that way, they would be like, yeah, okay. That's what I would tell them. I say, you could either learn it or not learn it. It's up to you. But you got to take it, right? So I'm doing it for fun, getting paid, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. So, and then I used to get like about a 90% or above graduation rate from the class, and then they will always score high on the state test, which I could never understand, because they would say, oh, here's what the state of Louisiana requires students to know for the state. They call it end of course testing. I say, well, that's what they want. I would go through each guideline. Students must know these, I don't know, it was like 58 things. I say, well, I know one thing, I'm going to cover those 58 things. And the students would tell me, that test, I just took that test before lunch. That was your class. And I had them tell me that more than once. That test was your class. And the principal was like, everybody in your class passed the test. I said, yeah, they knew the information. We that's what we did. We learned it. All right. Anyway, always nice to see you. Thanks, Alex. Buffalo Trace, best bang for the buck, in my opinion. Well, yeah, for $24.99. Some stores $23.99. Can't argue with that. I always love Jim Beam. I like Jim Beam. Grismo says, yeah, it is dangerous. It will get you hot. Well, you're a gem. Brian Lane says, you're a gem. I appreciate all your reviews. Just a wealth of knowledge. What type of history did you teach? Says Little Cynic. Well, I taught military history once. I taught American history, high school and college. World history, high school and college. Geography. Civics, it's like government. Free enterprise, learning about free enterprise system. I taught psychology for 14 years, psychology, which is not my area, but I taught it. And I taught for local high schools, and I taught for Southern University in New Orleans, and I also taught for Southeastern Louisiana University. So 2 colleges, 2 universities. And Southern called me on the phone one time. I'll never forget this. Southern University in New Orleans called me on the phone. Hey, the lady tells me on the phone, hey, you're supposed to get all this money because you were teaching the class. I said, what are you talking about? She said, you're supposed to get like $2,500 because you taught the class. It might have been 3,000. I don't know. I said, what are you talking about? She said, well, you taught that class on your lunch break or your planning period, and you got paid for that. I said, no. I said, no. I said, I never taught that on my planning period. I taught that as a regular class. I taught the class as a regular class. I did not take up my planning period to teach that. She said, really? I said, really? Oh, she said, oh, well, our records show that we owed you the money. I said, no, I don't want to get the money and then I got to pay the state back in 3 or 4 years. Okay. So that was it. And my friend Tom in River Ridge, she tells me, you talk too much. You talk too much. All right. But I didn't want to pay it back. What was your favorite subject to teach, says Wings and Pizza? Oh, well, I like history. You know me. I'd be drawing all those maps on the board. I could do that blindfolded. I would just teach history all day long. Anything, World War II, World War I, Revolutionary War, Age of Exploration, all the explorers coming to America, the kings, government, it didn't matter. Didn't really matter. Stanley Wayne Roll. Hello, Stanley. Hello, Wayne. Cheers, Ronald. All right, I gotta call. I can go on all night, but I gotta go watch baseball before the game's over. But the Mets. But who can believe the Mets? American or Western civilization? Well, both. Yes, I like both. Hello, sir. Hello. All right, this is it. We got to call it. It's been going on too long. Just y'all are making me do that. You're making me reminisce because you asked me a question about teaching. I dream every night. I dream about being in the classroom. I'd be saying, "Where's my?" But you know how these dreams work. I'll be like, "Where's my list?" Gotta see who's not in class today. But of course, in the dream, you can't find the list. In reality, you would just say, "Oh, there it is." I used to get to work for 5:59, 5:58. We would always try to get to work earliest, but somebody would get there at 5 o'clock. We had keys to the building. I had a key. They didn't know that I had a key. But you get home at 2:15, be on the couch at 2:15, going to sleep, taking a nap. Woo! Wouldn't be able to drink this all the time. Jeppsons, well, that's up to you. You want that in your life? Go ahead and drink it 100 proof. It ain't for me. Ooh. Does it have a good flavor? Well, yeah, it has a wonderful flavor. But I couldn't drink it. It's too strong. Oh, my goodness. But I'll recommend it to all you people that want to drink high proof liquor. You want to drink high proof liquor, go ahead. But this is actually pretty good. I think, and I don't think it's going to work out, but I'm going to try to get my friend David to try it. But he's going to be very negative toward it because it's in a plastic bottle. B, it's a contract brewed, store brand, private label, and he ain't going to like that. But if I could trick him some kind of way to taste it and he doesn't know what it is, he probably would like it. But if he knows what it is, he's going to hate it. It's like, oh, that's garbage. I'm going to be like, all right, here we go. Please, aha, peace. I'm serving. You're in the Army? Right. Let's hope you don't make any history. Let's hope it's no history, like 1977 to 82. '76 to 82. Um, I to me the WD liquor is just more pleasant. That's just me. To me it has a sour mash like a cornbread. Can't say it does, officially, but it's just pleasant. It's very bread dough, cornbread, of course. It's just mild, mellow. It's easy going. Do I have issues with this? No, I don't. Do I think it has negativity with it? No. Do I think it's inferior in some ways? Well, I mean, obviously it's not, common sense. It's not top shelf bourbon, but it's not nasty in any way. So it just goes to show you, you can buy this kind of stuff. And now you say, well, do they sell that in Florida? Well, they do it. WD Liquors in Florida. Well, do they sell this type of stuff in, let's say, Texas or Oklahoma or Kentucky or Ohio? Well, they might, but I don't know your statutory regulations. You know what I mean? I don't know how that would work. In Louisiana, it's an open field, so we get a lot of private label, store brand, what do you call it? Attached products that are attached to a certain store. So, yes, so I can't explain what other states would do. Never judge a book by its cover. That's right. Or 1962 to 73. Oh, no, you don't want to make that history. To all in the path of hurricane, stay safe. God willing, bless you, because it's a nightmare. But I think, from experience, I think Hurricane Milton will die out to a large extent before it hits Florida. I know it's scary and it's terrifying, and I agree. But these storms, you see, it has to go across the whole Gulf of Mexico. That's a long way. And they rev up. They get strong, strong, strong. But they can't maintain the strength across those travels. So you'll notice by the time it gets to the Florida Gulf Coast, it will have dissipated to a large extent and it'll lose momentum. And I really think that's what's going to happen. I pray to God that's what's going to happen. And I think that will happen. No grocery store in Oklahoma sell actual hard liquor, says Alan. Yeah, I mean, each state has their own rules. 55 to 75, says Wayne. Yes, if you had joined the Air Force in 1955 and had retired in 75, yes, you would have seen many things. I know many people who were there. My grandmother's brother, Uncle John, who I talked to my whole life, he was in the U.S. Air Force. Well, actually, and he was in the Army Air Force, the United States Army Air Corps. I think in 1943 it changed it to the Army Air Force. Then they detached it in 1947 as the U.S. Air Force, which he stayed in until he retired after 20 years. And then he went to the flying private flights for Air America. At first, I said, "What did you do for Air America?" He told me. He said, "I can't talk about that." That's what he told me sitting in the living room. I can't talk about that. Then he flew for, I think, Continental Airlines. But he saw some very interesting things in Italy, Romania, Vietnam. And he was a photographer, so he would take photos. I don't know if that was allowed, but he did it. When he was in the plane, the B-17, and later on the B-52. But well, the whatever he was flying. All right. Anyway, we don't know about that. That's I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. All right. I agree also with how the hurricane will pan out. I have family members there. I'm from New York, Long Island to be exact, says Brian. Yeah, a lot of New Yorkers in Florida. Florida's sort of like New York South. All right. So last call. Then it's baseball time. Oh. Personal preference. I'm going to go with the Winn-Dixie. WD Liquors. I prefer it because I like lower proof. 80 to 90, 90 tops. I can tolerate it. Above 90, it just rubs me the wrong way. I don't like it, but that's you. You do you, I'll do me. Do I regret buying it? Certainly not. I don't know. I had a feeling. I just had a feeling all along when I bought this. I said, I don't know. I just think it's going to be a good product. It looks terrible. It's like the worst looking label in the history of labeling. But I just thought it was going to taste good. And it did. So I'm very happy. This one, I didn't know what to think because I knew nothing about Jeppsons except that they made the notorious Malort, which everybody says is the worst product ever, which means it's probably pretty good. The Malort, but this is the bourbon. This is their 100 proof bourbon. Yeah, I like it. It might have coloring added, might have flavoring added, but oh well, what the heck. Most of the food you eat has coloring and flavoring added, so no big deal. All right, now going to check out the baseball games. Thanks for watching this long hangout, but thought it was apropos to what we were doing. I agree also with the oh yeah, we talked about that. Cheers, everyone here. Says Brian. Cheers to you. Wings and Pizza says looks like a Corona. Looks like a Coors Extra Gold label. Oh, yeah. Well, it's been a long time since we've seen that one, huh? All right, y'all take care. Bye bye.